Shalom, shalom everyone. Indeed, we are thankful for this opportunity. I mean, it is the final day of the unleavened feasts. Indeed, we have been enjoying ourselves. We have done the Pesach. We have had the first day, and now it's the last day, the first of Yah's festival for our feast for his people. And as we close this, we look forward to the other appointed times. We trust that this year will be a great year for all of us as we celebrate his appointed times. Now, we want to talk about the Pesach. Year after year, we have celebrated the Pesach, celebrated it, and every year we seem to find some new meaning, some new things about it. I am wondering if this year would be a similar year. So we're going to talk about the Pesach, and I want us to reason with me. So you can get the mic, the road mic for me, please, so we can hear from the person. What is it that we can get from the Pesach? All right, let's see what we can get from the Pesach. So I'm going to ask a few questions. I'm going to share on the board. And you are going to, let's hear what you have to say about the Pesach, huh? How does that sound? So let's look at the first question. That's the first question. And we can get some answer. So we're talking about the Pesach. We're talking about, so we are now in Egypt. It's the night. That is much to be observed. Will be the night after the 14th, after the lamb or the Pesach was killed, and Egyptian firstborns were killed. Who killed the firstborn? Who was the smiter or the killer? Who did the job? Mastima? Anybody else? Who did the job? Anybody have any other answer? Pardon me? Who did the killing? Who did the job of killing? Oh, Mastima, how you know that? We get it from? Because you match to that? Oh. Where's the mic? I asked for the mic. Where's the mic? I need to hear clearly. And if anybody joining on the World Wide Web, then is here also, so we're having a discussion. It's still early time, so we can talk a little longer, hopefully. Alright. So let's hear what Maurice said a while ago.
Yeah, Mastima is also an angel that does work, and he was given that job
Oh, he was
to
directed.
do. Just like we have our politicians, we have people who will do the dirty work. You know, use a true, a true child to do dirty work.
So Mastima did the dirty work.
Right.
For Yahuwah. Alright. Let's move on. Next question. Who protected the firstborn of Yisra'el then? Who protected the firstborn of Yisra'el? So you say Mastima kill, and so who protected the? So another angel protected, you're saying? So the Yahuwah. By the way, so nobody believes that it was Yahuwah who did the killing, who killed the firstborn? Oh, so he gave the command. So would it be fine to say that he did the killing? See that he commanded the killing? Can I phrase that way? Technically, right? Technical. Technical. Yeah. Yes. Somebody talking about virgins, have to give them mic so we can hear what's happening. Right. Alright.
And he also gave the command that any house that did not have on the blood over the lintel, they cannot enter into that house.
Who did not have it, or
who has it? So the Mastema could not enter that house.
So if there was no blood on the doorpost, then
they have all the permission to enter.
Oh, alright. So is the blood black Mastema then? You're saying?
It's a sign. It was a sign.
Yeah, but you can still go in the same way, so what?
No, man, he can't go in there, man. He can't defile the order.
Oh, the one order?
Yeah.
That is given. Alright. Just taking. So Mastema is obedient to Yahuwah. By the way, who is Mastema? Who is Mastema? Who is Mastema? I'm ball up Mastema because I hear people say Mastema. Who is Mastema? Oh, Satan, Satan. Alright. So who skip over the house with the blood then? Who skip over the house with the blood? Because I think we said that if we pass over, we say pass over means to skip over or to up over. So who up over the house? That has the blood. Oh, the death is up over? Okay. Oh, so the death angel up over the house. But did it text say that I, Yahuwah, will pass over the house? Was that what he said? So when Mastema passed over, then the Yahuwah passing over? Yes. Is it? Use the mic because there are persons who may join us online.
What's wrong?
This is not class. This test won't be marked. Okay. Won't be graded.
Alright, so based on my understanding, Yahuwah comes in many forms and
included as Mastema.
Right. So
included as Mastema too, right? As Satan.
No.
Oh.
However, if he sends, and again I can be incorrect, but if he sends the death angel or if he sends Mastema, because it says if he gives him the authority to touch you, then you know you have walked out of the way. So if him give you the authority to touch you and him said him come, then I still him a come.
Alright. Anybody want to respond? Who skipped over the house? So the text says, and we're going to go to it, the thing that was read earlier on, that when I see the blood, I will pass over you. Pass over. So the pass, when it says, means skip over, up over, jump over. Yes, it's here. Oh, it's not literal now. But
I don't think it was a literal thing because anyone he sends has the authority and the power. So if he said that the person whosoever come go and pass over, it don't really have to be him, but anyone he sends have the authority of him.
Well, okay, all right. Anybody else want to respond to that? All right. Next question then. Look at that question. Why did Yahuwah tell Yahshua to put the sign on the doorpost and the linen? Why? Doesn't he know? Because he is omniscient, means that he knows everything, right? Correct? He knows everything. So means that he would know every house that belongs to Yisra'el. So why put blood then? Why put blood? Because but if I say to Mastima, kill only those or of the Egyptian household, then Mastima will be obedient and do exactly that. And Mastima also, Yahuwah could have empowered him to know which house belonged to Yisra'el. So why blood then? Let's take the mic, Mike. Do it faster, brethren, we can get you. Yes. You were saying it?
It's an act of obedience by the Yisraelites. Because if he said to do it, and you don't do it, obviously you're not obeying him.
So you're saying faith is in this thing then?
Yes.
Alright, yeah. Anybody else? Yes, somebody was talking. Because Yahuwah is omniscient. He is omnipresent, we are told, and he is what again? Omnipotent, meaning he is all powerful, is all knowing, and is everywhere. So we will only need a sign to say, well, this house don't go into, or this house go into.
All right. So
yes.
It could actually mean that it was assigned to Yisra'el themselves. To say that.
To say what? Why would Yisra'el want a sign?
Okay. Because, all right, if they were not obedient then, and put the blood over the lintel, then Mastima or the death angel, whosoever come, will enter and their firstborn will be killed.
So you're sharing her argument about faith. The issue of faith. Obedience.
Yes.
Alright. Anybody else want to jump in something else in that? Something different? Alright. Next question, let's see. Similar question. Did Yahuwah skip over the houses of Yisra'el? Did he skip over it? Same question? Yes or no? Did he skip over the house? But it was really Masma was skipped. And because he skipped, then Yahuwah skipped. Okay. Microphone, let's.
Yeah, just to add, because Yahweh is all powerful and everything that happened is within his realm. So, as you know, he uses persons who are ungodly to do his will also. So yes, so he can also use Satan to do his work. And also, and to answer the question about putting the blood on the doorpost, it's a sign to Yisra'el and also to the Egyptians also, because everything, when the Egyptians seen the Yisra'el painting the blood on their doorpost, they may be laughing to themselves like, what are they doing, you know? But eventually when everything play out and the death angel pass over, and you realize that the firstborn in Yisra'el house did not die, and their children die. So realize that through obedience, God plays out his act, and it serves as a testament to us also in future.
All right. So that's, but what sign is it to Yisra'el? What sign? But because sign says something. A sign gives you information. I can imagine that this was a sign to Mastima, as you said, Mastima was the one who killed him. So the sign to Mastima said, well, don't go here. But or become a sign to Yisra'el. What is sign? What sign? What message? Because a sign gives you a message or an instruction. What sign did it give to Yisra'el, as you say, sign? Yeah.
I was thinking, could it be a sign of assurance to say that when it's passing, you are okay, you are safe. And he's saying, this is a sign to say that I live by my word. So if the angel is going to pass, you are okay. And I was thinking along the life that blood represents life. Because life is in the blood, so your children are safe. So that's the line I'm thinking along.
All right. So we're seeing the faith obedience theme coming out, and we're now seeing assurance theme coming out. So we went because I put the blood there. I am assured that my life will be kept because and blood represents and that's a good observation that blood represents. There's life in the blood and blood represents life. So once you see the blood on the door, then this house is a live house. I should be kept alive. All right. Go ahead for me.
So that's basically what I was about to say. The blood is a pitch, and it's the same thing we see on the Ark of Noah. So it represents the covering of protection.
All right. So you have protection coming out. Protection coming out of the thing here. All right. So yeah. So did Yahuwah skip over the house? Because I'm thinking about skipping over. You say you're running, and you jump over and run, go and leave the house. Yeah, not right? You follow? So what then does the skip over there mean? Don't enter. Oh, so Yahuwah doesn't enter. So Master doesn't enter the house. Okay. All right.
The blood itself on the doorpost could be a repellent to mastima, you know. And whenever he approach that, he just cannot enter. It's a repellent also.
All right. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Next question. And this question might be not well based on what you are saying, because you are saying to me that it is not Yahuwah who skip over, but Mastima who skip over. So this question then can't skip out because you say it's Mastima, not Yahuwah. But other people say it's Yahuwah who skip over. Who skip and not Mastima. Because what you will say to me now, because if it's so Mastima is, you say, is the destroyer, right? And Mastima also skip over because the text says that when I see blood, I'll pass over you so that. But no, we're going to go text, but let me get a look at thing here. When I see the blood, I will pass over you so that the destroyer does not go in. Repel, Brother Murray says, repellent. So something repels the destroyer from going in the house. So the blood seems to be that protection. Then. All right. So next question. And the question was asked, who's the destroyer? You said Mastima, right? And not Yahuwah. Or is Yahuwah Mastima? All right. Let's see if any more questions leave. What does Passover mean? The next question. What does Passover based on all of that, Passover. No, remember now, when we read the text, we're going to see three mention of Pass. So we're going to see Passover as one word. We're going to see Passover as two words. And we're going to see where Yahuwah said, when I pass through. So Passover comes first in the text. Then pass through. And so pass through Egypt. And then you see Passover, which is a different word, different than Passover as one word. So what does Passover mean to you? Passover. don't know, right? Let me see those who know what Passover there means. The killing of the lamb, that's Passover? You saying that? Alright. Anybody else? Passover. The lamb that was slain. Anybody else? We have to know this in a way because a long time I keep Passover, so if you know these things, I have to get it straight as possible. Alright? Passover. Alright, so we don't know then. So one person said that the king of the lamb, one said the lamb. Passover. Alright? Next question. And again, I'm asking the questions and may repeat some in a different way so we see if you understand. What was the purpose of putting the blood on the doorpost and the lintel? What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose? I thought? Protection. Alright? Protection of whom? Of Yisra'el from?
Mastima.
From Mastima, from the destroyer, from death. Alright. Let's see if any more questions leave there. Is this appointment appointed time more about protection of Yisra'el, firstborn, or is it more about the killing of Egyptian firstborn? Which one is it more of? Is it more of protection of Yisra'el firstborn, or is it more of the killing or destruction of Egyptians firstborn? Put up your hand if you want to talk, so we can get the mic. Killing of, so it's more about the killing of
the Egyptian firstborn.
The Egyptian firstborn.
For me.
For you, yeah, most for you. Anybody else? You say both of them. Alright, both about. It's equally the killing and the protection. Once you're the killing, you have to protect those who are not to be killed. Because I am thinking that once. Go ahead, let's see what you have to say.
In reality, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to kill some to save some.
Oh my.
In this case, that's what happened. And the other thing, there was the Passover and the pass-through. The Passover is for Israel. The pass-through is for Egypt. So you pass through Egypt and you kill the firstborn. And pass over to Israel to save their firstborn.
Alright, so alright. Anybody else want to say before we go, let's go to the text now. Exodus 12. We're going to read through 12. And we are going to, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say it's both. I believe it's both too, because for protecting the firstborn of Yisra'el, Yahweh is showing Yisra'el that how believing in Him can preserve your life. And to the Egyptian, because I think there's a scripture which says that He's going to destroy the gods of the Egyptian. Like He's showing the Egyptians that, hey, I am more powerful. So He's proving a point to them also.
Okay, alright, okay. Alright, we are open up, as we go through today, we get some of these answers. If some of them are not correct, we try to correct them, hopefully, and maybe to kind of, refine some of the things that we have learned or we had from before. So Exodus chapter 12, verse 1 to 28. Get a little lengthy, but we're going to go through it nicely and follow with me. So Yahweh spoke unto Moshe and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month, verse 2, this month, right? So this month is unto you the beginning of months. And again, we said, I need to understand that the word month there is really renewal. So this renewal is the beginning of your new renewal. the first renewal of the year. Speak to the people of Yisra'el, saying, in the 10th day of the month of the renewal, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house, and if the household be too little for the lamb, and when I listen carefully the instruction that was given, every house take a lamb, and if the household be too little for a lamb, so if you only have 2 persons or 3 persons in the household, then obviously it's too little for a lamb, so we're going to do what now? So we're going to now share with the next door neighbor. Hopefully they have, you know, a small amount of person in the house too. Right? So let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of persons or souls. Every man according to his eating. So if you eat, if you're a big eater, if you're a big back for an eater, then we have to get a big lamb or maybe 2 of them or so. You understand me? Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out of the sheep or from the goats. So it's from sheep or goats. It can be a sheep or it can be a goat. Right? A lamb is a young sheep or goat. Verse 6, and you shall keep it up unto the 14th day of the same renewal, and the whole assembly of Yisra'el shall kill it in the evening. You shall take the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts. We call it the door jamb. Door post. And at the upper door post of the house, it is the lintel. So it's up top and on 2 sides. So it looks like that guard you're setting up there. Wherein you shall eat it. Verse 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roasted with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water. So do not steam it, nor stew it. And don't fry it. Right? You must do the head and the legs and the pertinence thereof. You shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. Look on the instructions. And while you're going through the instructions, I want you to think about what part of the instruction that we are reading should be left out in our days now. Right? What part of the instruction that was given should be left out in our time, and then tell us why you say that. Right? No, while they're reading, because we don't all of them yet. So let's look at all instructions, then you can think about which one of them. Should we change the one that says, you must join the next door neighbor? Should we change the part that says we should kill it in the evening? Is it a lamb at first year? Can we do a second year lamb? Or whatever it is. Let's think about it while we go through. Verse 11, and thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste. It is Yahuwah's Passover. For I will pass through. So here it was, I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn of the land. So I will pass through Egypt. I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the Elohim of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahuwah. And the blood shall be to you for a token, a sign, upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. Verse 14, and this day shall be unto you a memorial. So the day 14 should be a memorial unto you. And you shall keep it a feast to Yahuwah throughout your generations, the eating of the thing. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put out leaven out of your house. Whosoever eat unleavened bread from this first day to the 7th day shall be cut off from Yisra'el. And in the first day shall have a holy convocation, and the 7th day you have an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done, save that which you must eat. So you can cook your food and eat it. You can do that, but no other manner of work. Alright? And then we saw in verse 21 that Moses called the elders and instruct them as to what to do. Verse 23. And Yahweh passed through to smite the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 posts, side posts, Yahweh will pass over the door. He will pass over the door. And he will not suffer, I will not allow the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. Verse 24. You shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. It shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which Yahuwah will give you, according to as he had promised, that you should keep this service. Verse 26. And it shall come to pass, when your children say unto you, what mean thee by this service? What is this for? Why do you do this? This what? Why do you do this? That you shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahuwah's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Yisra'el in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered their houses. The people bowed their heads and worshipped. And the children of Yisra'el went away and did as Yahuwah had commanded them. So that was the instruction given that is to be done. Is there any part of this instruction given that you think we should not be doing it in this dispensation? Get the mic. Yes.
Think we suppose we can cut off a head and one, take out the pertinence, put one side.
Oh, so
we don't want to do that part there. With the head.
And you cook it and you what? And do like
put him down in some nice curry.
Manish water thing?
Yeah, rather manish water and curry, you know.
Alright. So we should not follow what was commanded, that we should not cook it in water, whatever. We should stop that and do something different.
No, I don't say if we stop, but I say
what?
We could have tried that one time.
But we are commanded you are not to do it.
Yes.
So you are saying that we can change that now? That
no, not for that, but we can use another goat.
Another goat?
Mm-hmm.
So who said you couldn't do another goat before? You could have another goat and use it to curry goat or whatever. Couldn't you?
We never did think about that one day. But now is a good idea.
The Pesach. So you come on the Pesach. Whatever the Pesach is, the Passover should not be cooked.
Do anything else.
Only roast. That's the command. Right? So, yes.
So if the Torah says that the sheep or the goat,
The Pesach.
the Pesach, right? It's not supposed to be boiled stew, none of that. So even if you're going to have a separate goat and you're going to stew it, you're still stewing the goat.
The Pesach?
I'm thinking, yeah, the Pesach, the goat is that you did use for the Pesach. I'm saying it's there, but having an next goat there to stew, isn't it? I'm just saying that don't stew any goat or nothing.
All right. Because if it's raw goat, then that goat is a Pesach. You're saying.
It makes sense what she says, because if it is that we were supposed to do it exactly how we were supposed to do it, then it means that each family that are here would need a Pesach for themselves. So if we have two, depending on the size of the congregation, we can have 2 or 3 lambs or whatever.
Still Pesach.
Right. Right. So I'm in agreement with what she's saying.
Okay. All right. Anything else we can change or stop doing? Anything can we stop doing that was instructed? What was the instruction again? What was the instruction? Let's look at the instruction. Let me see if I have it here. Coming back to this. To kill the lamb on the 14th of the first renewal between the evenings. Place the blood on the doorpost and lintel. Roast and eat the flesh of the lamb with matzah and bitter herb. But the midnight thing, so that is what will happen. So these are the basic things. Kill the Pesach, place the blood on the doorpost and lintel, and roast and eat with bitter herb and matzah. So are these the 3 major instructions given? Huh? And nothing is to be left over? Yes. Nothing left over. So you burn it, right. So put in that. So that was left out. I'll put that in there. Which of these instructions should you think should be left out of it? So what's the blood thing? What about the blood part? The blood and the doorpost and the lintel?
If you don't put the blood on the post and the lintel, that means that when the death angel is passing, everybody are going dead.
But we're not in Egypt again. We're not in Egypt. But we're not in Egypt. And death angel not pass again. So.
All right, so in that now, yeah, the blood, man, the blood has to prevail. So
like
we have to put the blood, man. We do it today just as a ritual, nothing else. So it's a command, and that's how it's prescribed to be done. So whether that the angel will pass, yes or no, we just do it as prescribed.
All right, anybody else? Because we're told that to say okay, go ahead, Mr. Brother Morris.
How I'm looking at it now, if you take out any of that, you might as well throw away the whole Exodus 23.
Yeah, but the blood thing, the blood thing sounds like a sacrifice, something, huh? Pardon me?
The big man said, don't add nor take away, so you go ahead and take it when me see what happens.
Anybody else? Talk to me now. Everybody have the mouth shut a little. We don't need to talk, make it hear what is happening.
So verse 11, when it says you should eat it with your loins girded and your shoes on your feet, we should do that also. and do it in
yes.
ace.
Right.
Or it's based on the context.
The loin girded and something else?
Even this all
Go ahead.
isn't all of this like a memorial, like a remembrance for us to remember why we are here now and what the Israelite went through back then to come out. So we are doing it for us to remember why Yahweh did what he did.
Yeah, that's what Yahuwah told Moses to tell the children. So if your children ask you, what is this for? Why do you kill the lamb and roast and eat it? Why do you put the blood on the lintel and the door? Why did you not roast the curry goat? Why did you not do manage water with the head? You can't dash your head. You can't dash them like a part in the goat. Why? Why did you throw the head? Why do you burn? Why don't you leave some from Mumbai for tomorrow? Why all of this? When you tell that's why, what do you say to them? Is the question. You must say this. It is because. Huh? All right, Mike over there.
So the prevailing teaching is that this specific festival, the instructions that are given in Exodus 12 were given to our people who were in Egypt at the time, and we don't see it repeated in Scripture. That is what is taught, and so they say you only need to observe the day, and when the 14th comes, you observe the day. Now the observance there now becomes subjective, because some persons might say observing the day would just entail coming to church, as they would say, and keep a service. Others say them eat, under the new dispensation, they eat unleavened bread, which is just the matzah, which has replaced the lamb, and wine, which would be the meal that Yahusha ate the night before with his disciples. And then you have persons who probably eat the lamb, but they don't do the blood part. And then you have persons who do everything, the lamb with the bitter herbs and the matzah. So it becomes subjective when you lean into this kind of reasoning where you say, what can we take out, what can we leave, and it was done in Egypt, so we're not supposed to do it again because we are no longer in Egypt. So everybody starts to do what they feel is right.
What is right in their own eyes. All right. Go ahead.
So CJ's point was it is our history and it shows what was done in the past, so we should stay true to it.
All right. Anybody else? Well, if we were commanded, no, because if we're going to leave out any, we can leave out any. All right? So if you think that they put the blood on the door and the lintel can be left out, then I could say you could leave out the real lamb. But if I'm going to replace the lamb with matzah, then it's matzah and matzah may eat with, because it's lamb and matzah you should eat with. So as much that if we are going to have people speculate and thinking what we left out or what is put in or whatever it is, then we're going to end up with so many different arguments. Right? And because we do not see in Scripture where any was left out after they left Egypt, we cannot but do what was commanded. Right? No, some people are probably the blood because they say blood. And blood is so bad. What is bad with blood? You tell me. What's bad about the blood of the lamb? What is here about the blood? Make you want vomit.
Yeah.
And your blood make you want vomit too when you bleed?
No, that's my blood.
Oh, that's your blood.
Yeah.
Oh, different blood. And one back there. And it's even because some person might have some issue with the thing. And we want you to tell us on what basis, do you think some things will be left out? In fact, well, I don't think any of us said think that we should leave out the killing of the lamb. If you think so, then you're at the wrong place. If you think that the lamb should not be killed or should be used, then you're at the wrong place. But you might, and I don't think, and if you believe that lamb to be killed, then you'd believe that the flesh is to be roasted and eaten. But you may not believe that. This is the problem one. I want to hear from you. Yes, Marshall.
So I personally had an issue with the blood. We started in 2020, I think it was. We started doing this thing by ourselves. And I think for the first 3 years we didn't take the blood and put it because we were killing it in town and then bringing it over to Spanish Town. And the person who did the killing for us would give us the blood in the bottle and say, ensure that when you go over, you put it on the doorpost. And me and Yaaz, when we were coming over, we laugh and we say, me nah do it. So I personally had an issue with it for years until I started reading and reading more and more and realized that the entire instruction is this service. When you see Yahuwah say, the children is going to ask, what mean you by this service? Is the entire thing that the child sees you doing and say, but wait, you're doing so much things. What is the purpose of all of this? And then that is now when you say to the child, and that's when I realized that I was bringing my personal feelings against blood and the sacrifice and the negative connotations that are attached to it that we got from Christianity. Where Paul, and in Hebrews, when he said the blood don't bring any salvation and all of these things. The blood of animals don't do this and don't. I had my personal feelings in it and I had to separate myself from it. And then last year we started, I personally made it my point of duty to wipe the blood on the doorpost. So that was my issue back then. The negative connotations coming over from Christianity.
Right, and you rightly say about this service. So the question is, because somebody said we also need to ban our loin and put on the thing. But remember now that the Pesach wasn't about putting on your shoes and binding your loin. The Pesach was about the killing, what to do with the lamb. The instructions as to what to be done with the lamb. The eating, the Pesach later on, would be a part of the feast, the 11th feast. Right? So the service is very important. So the service, so the question is asked, when your children ask, what is this service for? Why do you kill a lamb? One. Why do you put the blood on the lintel and the post? And why do you roast it and eat it with matzah and bitter herb? Because the bitter herb. Why this? So the service is what is at the discussion now, and not whether you should put on your shoes or you should put on, because it doesn't have to do with the lamb. It's the Pesach itself. See, if you understand what I'm saying there, the service is what you are asked to do. And somebody spoke about the whole issue of obedience, the whole issue of faith, doing what you are told to do. Because, as we said some time ago, that if somebody did not put the blood on the doorpost where it ought to be, then obviously it would have been unbelief and disobedience, which will lead to rebellion, and rebellion will result in death, because the destroyer would enter the house. Right? When Yahshua left Egypt, did they go back to Egypt? So they were in the land. Right? We know they went out in Babylon for 70 years. But while they were in the land, they would have they would have done the Pesach. Right? And the very same thing that was written there in the Torah, that even Josiah found the Torah about Pesach, that would have been done. Right? If you can find nowhere in the text, in the scripture, in the Torah, where a particular service of the Pesach was changed, then you can do that. You can change it. If you cannot find it, and this is what the problem we have with Christianity, where we just change things to suit ourselves. So this doesn't go well with me, so let us change it. And let us substitute it with something else. I'll leave it altogether. Right? So it's important for us to understand as we seek after the ancient path, to walk according to and to be obedient to Yahuwah. Because guess what? And somebody said earlier on that the blood has life. The blood continues to have life. Life is still in the blood. That has not changed. So very important that we understand that you are asked to do something, and it's based on your obedience, based on your faith, based on your belief. Then you are asked, you do it. And that is all that you're asked to do. Right? Very important. If it's not in the text, if there's nowhere, and just as though we circumcise, and we are told, and we saw nowhere in Torah that was changed. We saw some people write something in New Testament about whatever it is, and we say no, it is in the Torah. It is there's no evidence, there's nowhere in the Torah that says it should be stopped. Then we continue it. That is same sort of reasoning that we should have as a people. We cannot just change some things to suit ourselves because it's kind of not so pleasing to me. And there are other things that we do, as a people, where though we see it in the Torah, we still don't want to work with it. There are some of the things are there. But we need to come to a point where if Yahuwah says it, I will do it, and that is it. Right? If it was good for Yasharah then, for them to do it, then it should be fine for us because we are still Yasharah, unless there's somebody else. Right. Right? So let's move on. So I want us to understand very carefully. I'm going to go back. So we're going to look now at so we saw the instructions in Exodus 23. We're going to go into Jubilees now to see what Jubilees told us that happened that night. Jubilees 49 verse 1 to 8. Follow carefully now. Remember the commandment which Yahuwah commanded thee concerning the Passover, the Pesach. When we leave here today, we are going to learn that we have to stop using the word Passover. And I'll show you why we have to stop using it altogether. Because it is not correct. It's not a correct translation. Right? Remember the commandment of Yahuwah commanded thee concerning the Pesach, that thou shouldest celebrate it in its season on the 14th day of the first month, that thou should kill before the evening, and that they should eat it by night on the evening of the 15th, from the time of the setting of the sun. For on this night, the beginning of the festival and the beginning of joy, we were eating the Pesach in Egypt, when all the powers of Mastima had been let loose. So all the powers of Mastima was let loose. And I want us to, let me just say this before I move on, lest I forget. The Pesach is the lamb. Watch carefully now. The Pesach is a lamb. It is not the Pesach is not the name of the day. Pesach is not the name of the appointment. It's the lamb that is called Pesach. So when you're told that you must keep the Pesach, it means to what? To kill and to sprinkle blood and to roast and eat. If you are told to perform the Pesach, it is to kill the lamb. Pesach is just the lamb. The lamb is called Pesach. And we'll look at Pesach, what it means, and see how it comes out in what all that we are doing. So on this night, the beginning of the festival, the beginning of our joy, we were eating Pesach in Egypt when all the powers of Mastima had been let loose to slay all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the captive maidservant in the mill and to the cattle. So here the angel were writing and talking to Moses and said, what had happened? This was, and he said that the powers of Mastima. So this is not just a small man, but mighty powers is running through Egypt. And this is sign which Yahuwah gave in verse 3 them. Into every house on the lintels of which you saw the blood of a lamb of the first year, into that house they should not enter to slave. They should not. So Mastima and his host or his entourage. So not Mastima alone, Mastima and all of his hosts, okay, the 10% that he had asked Yahuwah to spare. And they were told that any house you pass, you go to. Because what they were to do is to go into the house and to walk to the front door, because the house is a one door. One door in, one door out. No back door about the place. And when you go to the house, you step in the house, once you see that blood, you back off. Because there's a sign said, not this house. Right? Something repelled, something prevented the host of Mastima, the powers of Mastima, from entering that house. Look at verse 4. Let's go to verse 3. And this is the sign which Yahuwah gave them into every house on the lintel of which you saw the blood of the lamb of the first year. Into that house they should not enter to slave, but should pass by it. They should pass by it. That all those should be saved that were in the house, because the sign of the blood was on its lintel. Verse 4. And the powers of Yahuwah did everything according as Yahuwah commanded them. So the power of Mastima now is the power of Yahuwah. So the power of Mastima, because Yahuwah commanded Mastima to do something, then it is his power. So he uses that which he wants to use. You know, it's a what was his servant. He served Yahuwah. So Yahuwah instructed Mastima and his powers to go and do a particular job. And the job is to kill. And if you see the blood, then you should not go in that house. So the power of Yahuwah did everything according to as Yahuwah commanded them, and they passed by all the children of Yisra'el, and the plague came not upon them to destroy them among them any soul, either of cattle or of man, of dog. And the plague was very grievous in Egypt. And there was no house in Egypt where, apart from where the blood was, where there was not one dead, and weeping and lamentation. And all Yisra'el was eating the flesh of the Paschal, of the Passover lamb, the Passover, and drinking the wine, and was lauding and blessing and giving thanks to Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, and was ready to go forth from under the yoke of Egypt and from the evil bondage. Verse 7, and remember thou this day all the days of your life. So you're told to remember this day all the days of your life. Do not forget any of this at any time. All the day of your life. Once a year, on this day, according to all the law thereof. So whatever you're instructed to do, when it comes to the service of the Pesach, you are to remember to do it every year, once per year, in the right time, at the right time. And do not adjourn it from day to day. Don't change it, say, well, we're going to do it this day or that because, light gone or whatever it is. Keep it as it, and not from month to month or new moon to new moon. You can't change this one as new moon because it was instructed as is, and you must. 4 verse 8. It is an eternal ordinance and engraved on the heavenly tablets regarding all the children of Yisra'el, that they should observe it every year, in its day, once a year, throughout all their generations. And there is no limit of days, for this is ordained for ever. It cannot be any clearer. Right? There is no limit of days, meaning that there is no time when it stops, when it should stop. So it is forever and ever and ever. Forever. Right? So it's important for us to understand that. All right, let's move on here. So we look at this earlier. So, question. So was the destroyer commanded to kill all firstborn in Egypt, or just some firstborn? What do you think? Was the destroyer told to kill all firstborn, or some firstborn? So it would mean then, if a Yisra'el house was there without the blood, then that firstborn will be killed. Right? And if there was an Egyptian house with the blood, that person would be killed. Right? Egyptian. If an Egyptian house has the blood, they wouldn't be killed. So the whole issue of faith. Because we were told now that when they left Egypt, a mixed multitude went with them. So could have been that there are other persons who became and believed and accepted and would have done what they and have done it also. Right? So the destroyer was told to kill all firstborn. Kill all firstborn. But because the blood was there now, then they know we can't go into the particular, because if the blood wasn't there, then they would have gone into the house to kill. So the command was said, kill all firstborn. Go to all house, kill all firstborn. But if we go to a house and see the blood, you can't go in there. You cannot go into this house because this house has the blood. Right? So it's important. Because there is the theme of faith, as was said earlier. The theme of obedience, that was also said earlier. Because if you do not obey that which was said, and by the way, and obedience is based on faith. You really will not obey something that you don't believe in. True or false? Yeah, you don't believe. You don't obey something. So if you think the blood is not to be used anymore, then you really don't believe that it should be. And you don't believe that what Yahweh commanded before. You no longer believe in this particular part of it. Why? Because of your own comfort level. So maybe you're not comfortable with this part, and so you don't accept it, and so you now become what? Faithless. You become faithless. If you don't believe that the lamb is to be slain, then you would not do it. And as I said to us, if anybody here who you believe that this lamb should not have been slain, then you are not in the right place. If you don't believe that the blood should be sprinkled, should be, I can understand, but at least you accept the lamb to be killed. Because if the lamb is not killed, you really don't have Passover. So years when we're eating matzah and wine, we were not having, we were never having Passover or Pesach. Because Pesach is killing the lamb. That's all it is. There's nothing else about it. It's not the name of the day. It's not the name of an appointment. It's just a time set for you to kill the lamb. Right? And so the whole issue of belief comes in, and obedience comes in here. Let's see. And we talked about that earlier. What if the blood was not on a Yisra'el oath? Then you know what would happen. And the question is, what part of the instruction should be discontinued and then give scripture? Because we have now moved to a point where we just speculate, or we have moved from a speculative point of view to an evidential point of view. Because if you can't show the evidence, and this is the problem with Christianity, a whole heap of speculations with no evidence, no scriptural evidence. And we have passed that. We have passed that, the speculative aspect, and we are now evidential, because Numbers 9 verse 3, in the 14th day of this month at evening you shall keep in this appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof, shall you keep it, according to all. This is Numbers now. This is later on. According to all the rites, according to all the commandments, according to all the ceremony, you must do it. According to all the instructions given, you must do it. There's no two way. So the question is, was then faith a central theme? So we're talking about the Pesach. We're trying to understand the Pesach, brethren. Trying to understand the Pesach. Was faith a central theme to this appointment? It is. It was. Because if you don't believe, you're not going to do it. If you don't accept it, you won't do it. So the fact that you do it, and there may be some persons who, well, it's not me sprinkling the blood, so I'm fine. I'm master do it. So, but if you, I don't come to a point where you have to accept that you're told to. Even if not you do it, then you have to accept that. This is what the text says. And that is it. Next question. How do we explain Exodus 22, verse 22, 23? Let's look at that text. Yahweh will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he sees the blood upon the lintel and upon the two doorposts, Yahweh will pass over the door and will not allow the destroyer to come in unto the house to smite you. So Yahuwah will pass over the door. Pass over the door. Pass over the door. What's interesting about this? Pass over the door. Pass over the door. What do you think? Pass over the door. Pass over the door. The door. Pass over the door. Anything come to mind? Pass over the door. Pass over the door. What? That's two words. Yeah. Pass over the door. What's important about the door? Pardon me? Pass over the door. Wasn't the door had the blood on it? The door post and the lintel? Pass over the door. The blood is on the door. So the blood is on the door. Could that mean that the blood... But is it the blood of the Pesach or the Pesach on the door? The blood of the Pesach is on the door. And then the Hebrew for Passover, one word Passover is Pesach. The Hebrew for Passover is Pesach. We're going to show that later on. And so if the blood of the Pesach is on the door, and then Yahuwah is going to pass over the door, it looks like the Pesach, which is over the door, the Pesach blood, which is over the door, is Yahuwah. What does that sound? And so because Yahuwah is over the door, maybe easier standing at the door, because he is the door. And because he is the door, then what happens? What cannot happen? The destroyer can't enter the door. So the house belongs to Yahuwah. So it sounds as if the Passover does not mean jumping over or skipping over or upping over, but that Yahuwah is over the door or is at the door. And so because he is at the door or because he is hovering over the door, then the destroyer cannot enter. So maybe the word Passover is not the correct translation of the Hebrew word, because the Passover there sounds as if you are jumping over and gone leave the house. So if Yahuwah jump over the house and gone about in business, then obviously the destroyer should be able to go in because Yahuwah is not there. What a song. What a song. So while the destroyer was sent to destroy, the protector was there at the house. And the protector, that blood that was sprinkled, that was struck on the door, represent the protector. And you will see also that the word, the Hebrew word, the two Hebrew words that we work with is Pesach and Pasak. That Pesach is the noun, while Pasak is the verb. And both words are spelled the same. So the lamb is the Pesach, and it is the blood of the lamb that is placed on the door. So the Pesach, Pasak, the Pesach, Pesach. Because the Pesach is a noun, and the Pesach is the verb, the action. So the Pesach, Pesach, mean that the Pesach protects. And we are told that that Pesach represents Yahusha. So Yahusha is a Pesach. Yahusha is a protector. So the protector, which is the noun, does the protection, which is the verb. So the Pesach, Pesach. Alright? Get me there? So it seems as if the issue of Massima jumping over is not the correct thing. Nor is it Yahuwah jumping over the oath either. None of them seem to be correct. I'm going to show you that the word pass over here is incorrectly translated and should not be passed over. But I'll show you. Let's move on. So point to discussion, we continue. So how could Yahuwah jump or skip over the houses and go and leave these houses while prevent the destroyer from going? Because something must be there to prevent the destroyer from going in. So Yahuwah, who is the protector, and when you look at all of these things, when you understand Pesach, you realize it has nothing to do with sin and with Yahuwah dying for anybody's sin. It has nothing to do with sin or dying for sin. It has to do with the protection of Yisra'el in Egypt when the destroyer went to destroy. Not about sin and forgiveness and all these things, as we were told in Christendom. Right? So Yahuwah, I'm going to show you very soon, that Yahuwah did not jump over the house, and Massima didn't jump over either. Because Massima and his host would have gone to all house. But when you come to this particular house, he's told, you can't go there. And he leaves. As simple as that. Alright? Let's move on. So the question is Yahuwah both the destroyer and the protector? Mastima is the destroyer. And while destroying, the protector is there. The blood was there. Alright? Let's move on. So the question is, then, what does Passover mean? And this mean by passing over the house? What does it mean? So that's what we're going to look at before we close. That's very important. Alright? Passover. 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 So there are two words, two Hebrew words, Pesach and Pesach. These are two words. And when you look at the words, they are related. If you notice there, it has Pesach as number is 86453, but Pesach as 6452, which is a related word. Pesach, Pesach. Pesach is a noun, is a thing. Pesach is the verb, the action. If Pesach is to skip or up over, should Pesach then be the skipper or the upper? Question again. Let's go again with that. Since Pesach is a noun and Pesach is a verb, meaning the noun does the action. Right? In English. The noun does the action. Right? So, if Pesach, so when we told in the text that Yahuwah will pass over the oath, that word is Pesach. So Yahuwah I will Pesach. So kill my Pesach, put the blood on the door, and when I see the blood of the Pesach, then I will Pesach the house. You following? So Pesach is the thing. What is the thing, brethren? What do you think? What is the Pesach again? The lamb. The lamb is the Pesach as a noun, the thing. And the thing does the verb, which is the Pesach, which is the action. So I'm saying to us, if Pesach means to skip over, if Pesach is to skip over, which is the action, then who is it that will do the skipping over? Has to be Pesach. But the Pesach, we didn't skip over. The blood of the lamb did not skip over the oath. Where was the blood of the lamb? On the doorpost, on the lintel. So the blood of the lamb of the Pesach was on the doorpost, and that blood, Pesach, that blood does something to cause the destroyer from going in. So this is about Pesach means to skip over or to jump over is incorrect. So we need to understand then what then does the Pesach mean, because is the Pesach, does the Pesach, since the Pesach is a noun and Pesach is a verb. So the Pesach, so the security guard does what? Secure. Security guard is the noun. He secures, so easy. So that's a verb. So it's like this. So the Pesach would be like the security guard. So when the security guard is standing at the door, the security guard will protect the place or secure the place. Follow that, Morgan? The security guard guards. The Pesach, Pesach. The Pesach does not jump over the house. It is on the house. The Pesach remains at the house. So as long as the blood is on the doorpost and the lintel, then the security guard is there. And when the destroyer comes to the house and sees the security guard, he will have to leave because that house is secured by the security guard. So Pesach, so the word Passover as one word and the term Passover are two terms that are incorrect when it comes to this appointment. The Pesach, the blood of the Pesach is on the house. It remains at the house. It doesn't jump over the house. It stays over the house. It don't jump over and gone about its business. Right, very important. So let's look at it now. So this is how Pesach is spelled. Anybody can spell that word for me? Spell the word for me, please, if you know. Spell the word. Pesach or Pesach. Het. Alright. So pay, stomach, and pay and het. So this is spelling for both words. The difference would be the nikud, where you'd have the circle, the dots to give you the pay, and you have the cross or the T to give you the pa. Right? So let's look at the meaning for these for each of the letters now. The out. So pay, the pictograph is a mouth, which means open, blow, scatter, edge. Alright? Stomach, the pictograph is a thorn, and you would have gone some other lessons from Marsha when it comes to these things and the pictograph and what they mean. It's the thorn, and you were told that the thorn, is like a rake that you used to get up things, grab, eat, protect. Look at them. I want to look at them and think about the Pesach and the house with the door, because you know normally you have to enter through the door of the house, and then we have the et, which is the tent wall. So here we see the issue of the tent, the house, and here we see the issue of protect, and there we see the issue of open, that the opening to the house, the issue of scatter, the issue of edge, right? So it's all there. So putting all together, you could say the scattered is protected by or within the tent wall, a tent. So when we so the blood of the Pesach, the Pesach, protects the gathered, the scattered, and the scattered is who? Yisra'el. So the blood of the Pesach protects the scattered within the wall of the house. So once you're in, and that's why you're told that you should not go out of the house for the whole night, because once you go outside there, the threat is there, and you will be destroyed. Because you're only protected when you are inside the house. So Yisra'el would have to now walk by faith to kill the Pesach, put the blood on the door, and stay inside. Because that's the only way that you can be protected. And once you are protected, then it means that you will be able to leave Egypt at the end of the slaughter. Right? So that is what the Pesach means. Protection. Do we say anything about sin there? No. It is about protection. So the Pesach blood on the doorpost and the lintel provides protection for Yisra'el. That's basically what it is. Let's move on. Now, Pesach is occurring 9 times in the Old Testament, and we know we have seen. We know some of them already. We can quickly run through the nine occurrences. The first one we found in Exodus 12, verse 11, and this is Pesach now, not Pesach. Pesach. Thou shalt eat it with your loin girdle and your shoes on the feet, the staff in your hand, and you shall eat it. It is Yahuwah's Pesach. So the eat it. What is the it that you should eat? What's the it to eat? Eat it what? Eat the roasted lamb. And he said, it is the same that you eat is Yahuwah's Pesach. It is Yahuwah's, it is the protector. It is Yahuwah protector that protects Yisra'el. Right? And then you could talk about, Yahuwah said, must eat this is my body that was broken for, or whatever it is. Exodus 12, verse 27. Now you shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahuwah's Pesach. Yahuwah's Pesach. Yahuwah who passed over the house of Yisra'el. We saw it in Leviticus 23, verse 5, that everybody should know. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahuwah's Pesach. Pesach must be done. We see it in Numbers 28, verse 16. In the 14th day of the first month is the Pesach of Yahuwah. The Pesach, the lamb of Yahuwah, a lamb to be killed and follow the instruction, the rites, and the ceremonies. Deuteronomy 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Pesach. Means to keep the Pesach means to kill it and to do this with the blood and to roast it and to eat it. That's what we should do on the 14th day. To roast, kill, use the blood and roast. Verse 2 of the same text, chapter. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Pesach unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, of the flock of the herd, in the place which Yahuwah shall choose to place his name there. And we also see it in 2 Chronicles 30, verse 1. And Ezekiel sent to all Yisra'el and Judah, and wrote letters also to Ephraim and Manasseh, that they should come to the house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem to keep the Pesach unto Yahuwah, Elohim of Yisra'el. 2 Chronicles 30, verse 5. So they established a decree to make a proclamation throughout the whole of Yisra'el, from Beersheba unto Dan, that they should come to keep the Pesach. Because it was a time when they had stopped keeping the Pesach because all the kings had walked out of the way, well, had left the ancient part, and somebody found the book and they realized that it should be kept. And the rituals were to be done as was commanded initially. And they call everyone from Beersheba straight to Dan to come from one end to the end, to come to the Pesach, for the Pesach in Jerusalem. Right? I think that this is the last text, 2 Chronicles 35, verse 1. Moreover, Josiah kept the Pesach unto Yahuwah in Jerusalem, and they killed the Pesach on the 14th day of the first renewal. Right? So that is Pesach. 9 times if we find it in the text. But Pesach now we found 2 times in the Old Testament. I'm going to show you the 2 places that this word is found. I'm going to look at it to see what it means in these 2 places. The first place that we know already is Exodus 12 that we read earlier. For Yahuwah will pass to smite the Egyptians, and when he see the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, Yahuwah will Pesach the door. He will, so we are told that he will pass over the door, but he will Pesach the door. Mean that he will protect the door. He will stand by the door. So when he stands by the door, then nothing untoward can enter the house. So the Passover does not give a good meaning, but stand by or to hover over the door. Right? So that is the first instance we see the word Pesach being used. We're going to look at the second instance where it is used. And you'll see it is used in Isaiah 31, verse 5. You can write that down until the thing comes up. To see how that word is used to show how Yahuwah protects Jerusalem. And they would have, so the translator would have said, passing over. So in Isaiah 31, verse 5, as birds flying. Now look at the simile, and this is simile for those who remember English language in school. Simile comparing 2 things, using the word as or like. That's all? So as birds flying, the author says, so will Yahuwah of hosts defend Jerusalem. So how does bird flying similar to defending something? Birds flying, defending something. So as birds flying, so will Yahuwah of hosts defend Jerusalem. Continuing. Defending also he shall deliver it. So in defending Jerusalem, he shall deliver Jerusalem. That sounds like, this looks like a Passover. Defend, that he had defended Yisra'el and then they delivered them out of Egypt. Maybe. And passing over, he will preserve it. So here the writer is talking about Yahuwah's protection for Jerusalem. Using the same passing over, the same Passover, use the same Pesach. So So for those who would follow birds and observe birds, there was a time a bird put a nest on my house. A piece of a column, the upstairs column was incomplete. The bird would have put a nest on it, just very strategically put it in the with the steel, and I'll go there to watch. And the bird, when the bird sees me, the bird will go and just pitch and just, like it's covering the nest, and he'll come down and just after me, just like he want to pick me, and I do something like this, and he fly away. So the bird is protecting. So the bird protects her nest by flying over it. Watch carefully now. Flying over. So here's the nest, and the bird flies over, watching to see if there's any enemy coming, and keep flying over, and might stop and look, and it's watching, and then it flies again. So here they were saying that now Yahuwah is like a bird, like birds flying over Jerusalem. So the bird does not fly over and gone, but flies over. This is over. So pass over, when you say I'm going to pass over, it doesn't mean that I'm going to jump over and gone. It means I'm going to pass, I'm going to fly over. I'm going to hover over Jerusalem. You follow? Because I'm going to be protecting the bird when the mother bird sees any danger. The mother bird just fly over and just, sometimes they use the wing to cover, and that's how Yahuwah covers Jerusalem. And that's how he covers the house that has the blood on the door. Passover is to cover, is to fly. So as they fly, as birds flying, so will Yahuwah of hosts defend Jerusalem. So as the bird flies over their nest, so will Yahuwah defend Jerusalem from all intruder. Defending, also he will deliver it. So in defending Jerusalem, he will deliver it, and passing over it, he will preserve it. The same Pesach, passing over. Pesach. So it's not that he had to jump and gone, Massima jump over and gone, but the business, no. He hovers. The word hovers means that he fly around it. Protection. Right? So Pesach, the blood is the blood of the protector. And the protector does what? Protects. That's it. And so this is beautiful. This is a work of art. Work of art to explain how Yahuwah protects his people. Hallelujah. Let's go again. As birds flying, as a bird flying over the place. As birds flying, so will Yahuwah of hosts defend Jerusalem. So it is here that we get a better understanding of the word Pesach, or better understand the word of the term Passover. Because it's passing over, he will preserve. The only way you can preserve something is if you, what? Protect it. Is if you cover it. Hallelujah. Is if you cover it. And so Pesach does not mean that Yahuwah up over or jump over it, or Massima jump over it. It means that Yahuwah protects. He hovers over. He flies over. And he stays around it. So when he said that I will pass over the door, means that I will hover, I will fly, I will hover over, I'm going to stay over it. As long as the destruction is coming, until the destruction is past. Hallelujah. This is where Pesach comes in. Yahuwah does not jump over us, but he stays over us. He remains, he doesn't up, over, and gone. He protects, he stays with us. And so the Pesach So the Pesach, which is the blood, the blood of the Pesach, does the Pesach, does the covering, does the hovering, does the flying, because the door is where everybody enters, and the destroyer will enter through the door, and so we need the security guard, the protector, at the door to remain. If the security guard leaves the door, then the destroyer will come in. So the meaning to up, or to skip over, or to spear, the skip over there, is like you're skipping. When you skip, what do you do when you're skipping? You're skipping and you're skipping you're one place. So skipping and you're staying one place. That's what happens. You don't skip and go all over the place. Skip means that you are flying over and keep going around. That's what Yahuwah does. Or you limp, or you dance. You dance in the place. You're there. Right? The Pesach. So Pesach, as we wind down, so Pesach, therefore means hovering over, to protect, to defend, and to deliver. Pesach is to protect, hovering over like birds, flying over for protection. So while the destroyer goes through Egypt, stopping at every single house, he enters and smites each firstborn. While he's doing that, Yahuwah goes through the land of Egypt, and seeing the blood on the post and on the lintel, he hovers, he stands guard at the house, at that house. And standing at the door, so when the destroyer comes to the door, he is prevented from entering. That is what Passover, the Pesach is the pass in over. So yeah, we did not skip over the house and go about the business. Instead, he covers the house. He hovers over the house. He stands at the door. Very important. All right? Very important. So the lamb is the protector, the Pesach, who protects, which is Pesach, those who are in obedience to him, and those who are in covenant with him. Very important. If you leave it with nothing else, you leave it this. The lamb is the protector, which is the Pesach. The Pesach is the protector, the noun. And the Pesach protects, or Pesach, the people who are in obedience to Yahuwah and who wishes to go into covenant with him. Alright? This is what Pesach is about. Not about the death for sin and all these things. It is about protection. And because you are protected, then you are able to leave Egypt. Very important. And listen what John 4 verse 7 says. Very important. So we saw it in the Old Testament about the protection. The protection is also in the New Testament. So look at it now. John 10 verse 7 to 14. Then said Yahusha unto them, again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. I am. It means that nobody can come through the door, or whoever come through has to get permission from me. I must give you permission to go in. So if it's a destroyer, I must give permission. If it's somebody good, I give permission. If somebody whatever, I give permission. I am the door. You see, I'm sent again to you. I am the door of sheep. Verse 8. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I, verse 9, am the door. By me, if any man enters, he shall be saved. So the fact that Yisra'el placed the blood on the post and on the lintel and stayed inside, they will be saved. Because the protector is there. The protector is at the door. In fact, the protector is the door. And they shall go in and go out, and shall find pasture. Verse 10, the thieves come not but to steal and to kill and destroy. That is the work of the destroyer, Mastima. All he does is steal, kill, and destroy. I, Yeshua said, am come that they may have life. The blood has life in it. Life is in the blood. So those whose house have the blood on it, there is life in this house, that house, and no death will come to that house. I am the good shepherd, verse 11. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. Look at that. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. The Pesach has to be killed, and its blood is placed on the door. The Pesach, the protector, dies, blood on the door, and gives the protection for the sheep. So I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling and is not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not, he sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. And because he leaves the sheep, the wolf catches them and scatters the sheep, because the destroyer is a scatterer, and Yisra'el was scattered in Egypt. And so the good shepherd now comes to regather the sheep, and so in order to regather the sheep, you have to put them in a house, and not only, but you have to also stand at the door to protect them from the destroyer who is coming. Because guess what? All of you who at about ancient part and want to, the destroyer is coming for you. And we have to be careful, because once the destroyer sees you being gathered, he's going to come to your door to destroy you. I want us to get this about the Pesach. If you are not in the house, you are going to be destroyed. And there are times when you can go out for pasture. The destroyer will be there too, so you have to be careful. So we have to watch these circumstances and the experiences that the destroyer will put us in, to see how we will react, how we will act. And based on our action, we will either be destroyed or we will be protected. So watch the mind. Watch what is coming your way. What experiences that is being thrown at you, and your unit. How do I deal with? How do I handle this particular experience? Being that I am on the ancient path. Because the destroyer does not like the idea that you are on the ancient path, that you are searching for the ancient path. And he will come with things. But Yahuwah said, I'm the shepherd. Let's finish the text. Verse 13. And the hireling flees because he is the hireling, is not the shepherd. And he cares not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and am known of mine. I know my sheep, Yahuwah says. My sheep has the blood stain on them, their house. Very important. But before I close, let's look at this. Look at that I discovered. The practice of putting blood on door didn't start with Israel. The practice of putting blood on doorposts. In the ancient Near East, ritual involving blood on the thresholds and door frames were used as protective rites against evil forces. So when you study the whole issue of using blood to and doorposts, it wasn't Israel first do it. Babylonian they did it. The Near Eastern persons used to do it. Kings in those days used to put the blood there. Some people used bone, pig, this for protection. Blood was always used for protection, whether it is true or false. Right? Look at it. So Torah.com says that Exodus chapter 12 was a repurposing of these older traditions. It continued to say, pig's blood, crushed bird heads, animal fats, and fine oil were all used to mark the doorpost and the threshold, meaning right at the front of the doorway there. In the ancient Near East to protect against a host of dangerous supernatural powers. He said that the Torah repurposes this ritual as a practical sign allowing Yahuwah to distinguish between Yisra'el and the Egyptian household. So what they're saying is that basically, long before before Egypt encounter, people used to use the blood. Some of us grandmother would have put some things at the door, nutmeg and something at the doorway. You remember those things? Arshu, yes, Arshu, nail over the door, and tape measure over the door. For what purpose? To keep out what? Evil spirit. So this practice was been going on from a long time. And Yahuwah seemed to have used a similar practice. But if you notice, what exactly is used? Not just in anything that was used. The blood of the protector. The blood of the protector was used. So this what is called the house of cleaning. It was a Mesopotamian royal protective ritual meant to protect the king if bad omens predicted his harm. So in Mesopotamia, they used to use house cleansing thing to protect the kings. That was long before Egypt issue. Our knowledge of the ritual derives from a Neo-Assyrian tablet that was found. So they found a tablet and they saw this ritual written on it in the library of Nineveh. And the abbreviated version of the ritual is detailed in another tablet found somewhere else later on in the Neo-Assyrian period, which finding location is unknown, but is assumed to be the city of Babylon. So they're saying that this tablet was found somewhere in Babylon, and the ritual of putting blood on the doorpost was being practiced to keep out supernatural spirits and evil spirits from entering to destroy us. And we saw our grandmother using the same thing, grandpeople using horseshoe and tape measure and all these things. So it's not all unfamiliar ritual or occurrence. Yahuwah seemed to use it in Yisra'el and in Egypt for Yisra'el protection. So when they see the blood, when I see the blood of the lamb, the Pesach, I will hover. I will stay over you. I will protect you like birds hovering over the nest. The protection that Yahuwah gives for his people. These are some of that I found based on the Torah.com, that website there. It's a whole heap of things that happen there. It's all there, you can find yourself. So the symbolism of the blood. Now, the blood was widely associated with the life force, as I close, the life force, and the covenantal power, making it a natural choice for the protective ritual. So the blood was a natural thing to use by Yahuwah in Egypt for Yisra'el to protect, because the blood has life in it. The blood has life in it. And that is why the blood of animals were used so much in all sacrifices, and blood being poured at the altar and poured at the foot of the altar and poured at the curtain of the most holy, because the blood has life. It is symbolic. Symbolic. And Hebrew told us that the blood of bull and all cannot, but the real blood of Yahusha, the blood is symbolic. Right? So we continue to use the blood and the things, and the blood prevail just as in olden days. It has power to what? To save, and power to protect, and power to guard, and power to repel evil. Mastima, destroyer. Yeah. And I put it in a table, basically, the Mesopotamian culture, they put the blood on the palace gate. Why? To protect the king from evil omens. In the other Near Eastern areas, they use pig blood, bird remains, and oil, and they put it on the threshold of the door to ward off supernatural danger. And then Yisra'el now, the blood of the lamb on the doorpost and lintel, as a mark of covenant protection from plague and obedience to Yahuwah. That is the Pesach. Alright? What have we learned? What have we learned? We have learned the Pesach has nothing to do with dying for forgiveness of sins. It is about protection. The Pesach, the blood, the Pesach is the protector. And the protector protects. That's what it's about. Right? Yahuwah hovers over his people. Mastima is a destroyer. He was commanded to go and kill. And while he's killing, Yahuwah is hovering over his people. Pesach. When I see the blood of the Pesach, I will Pesach. When I see the protecting blood, I will protect. Hallelujah. And that is what I want to share with you today. I thank you much.
Oh, great eternal Father, Yahuwah. Father, thank you for this day that you have set aside for us. And for this opportunity that we could come together in this fashion. And we thank you for the way the messenger had delivered your message. And for us, Father, as we seek to find the Haitian part, and as we strive to stay within, and as we learn more about the way we should go and the way we should grow, Father, help us that we'll continue learning as we go along, seeking. And thank you, Father, that you are so great and gracious, loving, caring, that you grant unto us the opportunity, Father, that you have given to us. You have provided the persons that will do the research and to deliver May you continue to strengthen them, Father. May you allow them, Father, not to grow weary, because I know this takes a lot of time, a lot of studying, reading. But Father, let them not grow weary. Give them all that it takes, Father, to continue doing your work. Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for that as we have reached such far, and as we come to the end of this week, Father, and we will depart to our separate place of abode. We'll go back to Babylon. We'll go back to our strain and strenuous work. Father, may you be with us. May you strengthen us physically, spiritually, and grant us the will, Father, to go through all the temptation and come out stronger. Let us, Father, go through the fire and come out as pure gold. Bless us, keep us, guide and protect us. We ask a blessing. Father, we say thank you. Hallelujah.
Thank you again, Rash, for your research and presentation. Once more, revealing to us the beauty of Scripture. Every year, we do this thinking we've figured it all out until you look deeper into the Word and find a new understanding. Put your hands together again for him and for Yahuwah for today's teaching. As we wind down the festival or the unleavened feast, I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of myself and Rash and Yahuwah and the assembly at large to everyone who would have given of their service to the assembly this week, those who would have cooked, those who would have washed the dishes, those who would have cleaned the restroom and the public areas, those who would have cleaned the assembly, help with setting up, helping with the Passover, the preparation of the meal, the killing of the lamb, whatever way you would have served this week. We thank you and we trust that you will continue to give of yourself to the Master. Stand everyone as we dismiss. Yahuwah Barak and Shamar you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift his countenance upon you and give you shalom. Shalom.